thought I should show you the way that I actually prepare the beans for freezing. This year I'm growing green beans on a really fun trellis that you can see in previous videos. You know what? I've got a door handle in the way. Let me fix that. There's always something, right? So I've got these green beans, and this is just part of the colander of green beans that I picked this morning to go with the other ones that I have in the refrigerator that are waiting for me to cut them up and blanch them and freeze them. So I'm actually going to demonstrate how I go about doing this. So first of all, take a few beans. I used to just take like 4 beans, line them up like that, cut off the tops, cut off the tips because they have those long spiky things on. So trim those off. I have a colander scraps container right here that I'm just shoving the tops and the tips off into that as I go along. And then I'm just going to cut them up into about 1-inch pieces. Like a little bit more than an inch on that one. Like that. And then put them in my colander over here, which I have already started, and see if I can get that filled up today. I'll bet you I can. So I don't always do just 4 green beans at a time. Sometimes I think I'm smart enough to do more than that. But I actually like doing 4 at a time. I think it's just my way of doing things. So 1-inch slices. There's a little tip that needs to go. And like that. Oh, there's an actual string on that one. I pulled that string off the bean. They're supposed to be stringless, so hopefully they are for the most part. The older your beans get on your bean stalks, the more likely they are to become stringy. So don't let them get too old. If you do see some green beans starting to get old on your plants, you don't have to pick them. You can actually let them grow a little bit longer until they are super dried out and the beans inside of them are really big, and you can harvest them and then plant those beans the next year. 1-inch slices. Toss them in the colander. Grab a few more. Cut off the tops and cut off the tips. And 1-inch slices. So we'll just do 4 more. Sometimes I actually like to grab a few that are similar in size and shape because it makes it faster, a little bit faster, to line them up in order to trim off the tops and the tips. There's a few that I've set aside, these right here. I'm just going to spread those out a little bit. You can see how they're not very straight, so those are a little bit trickier to do. I might just take the ones that are a little less curly, I call it, or bended. And like I said, if you can, line them up or choose beans that are similar in shape and size that you can line up. Some people might say, that takes way too long. But in the long run, I don't think it does take too long because it makes the cutting faster. Makes the cutting of the tops and the cutting of the tips a little faster. Okay, so I've got that much so far. I'm going to keep working on these and we'll come back in a little bit and see how it's going. Okay, it took me about 40 minutes to do that. And here are the beans that I got. The colander is, almost to the very top. So that's really good. That's quite a few beans. I'm going to rinse these off, and then I'm going to put them in a big pot of boiling water for 4.5 minutes. Here's the pot. The water is boiling. Now this water needs to return to a boil. The water and the beans. After they have returned to a boil, then I will start the timer for 4.5 minutes. The beans and the water have returned to a boil. So now I have my timer set for 4.5 minutes. There we go, 4.5 minutes. So we will start that. Now it doesn't have to boil ferociously like this on high. You can turn it down. Just make sure you maintain a full boil. So right now I turned it down to 7. That might be good, or I might have to turn it down a little more as it goes along. But 4.5 minutes, that's not very long to watch it. Our 4.5 minutes is up. Turn it to off. And I'm going to take this over to the stove and strain it. So let's take a little walk here. I meant sink, not stove. Now I'm going to put it in some ice water. And I'm going to swish it around a little bit. Let's see if I can give you a look at this. So there's my sink full of cold water. That's quite a big batch of beans. I need to add some more ice to that. There we go. So yeah, I was trying to do that in a hurry. Sorry for all the noise. I used to have an ice maker, but I decided I really didn't need it. I don't eat ice that much. So I just have a couple of trays now, just like the olden days. And that seems to be enough. All right, so I've got the ice in there. That's better. When that ice is all melted, then I'm going to take the beans out, strain them in the strainer right here. And then after that, I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. So we'll give that ice just a minute or two to melt all the way. Okay, the ice is melted. First I'm just going to scoop as many up as I can like that. And then like this, get all of those green beans into the colander. The reason why I'm freezing my beans this year is because I already still have plenty of bottled beans from before. Now, if the season continues a little longer and I just keep getting more and more beans until they're coming out my ears, then I will bottle the rest of them. But you never know. So, let's see if I can get the rest of these out of here. I'm going down the drain. There we go. All right. So now they've been trimmed and cut up, rinsed off, blanched, and cooled down and drained. So I am in my house, but I know that we just got some noise from the road, so I'll shut that window. Now the amount of time you blanch your vegetables depends on your altitude. I am almost 6,000 feet here, so that's why I blanched these green beans for 4.5 minutes, like the book says. So get a good canning and freezing cookbook, and then you will know how long you need to do that for. Now I'm going to turn the camera around right here. I have a cookie sheet that I'm going to spread these out on. Actually, I need 2 cookie sheets since this is quite a big batch. So just spread those out. What I like to do with a lot of my vegetables these days is freeze them first on a cookie sheet so that when they're all frozen, they're kind of separated. And then I put them in a bag, a larger bag than a normal serving. And then when I want to get a few beans out for whatever it is I'm making, I just grab a handful or two out of that bag because they're easily grabbed out of the bag. They're separated, so you can just grab whatever you want out of the bag. They're not all stuck together. Okay, one more cookie sheet. Put these here. I was laughing because this morning I was listening to, I'm going to put some of these on the other tray. I was listening to a YouTube channel that I really like, and I won't tell you what it is this time because I'm going to tease them a little bit. But after they got their project done, the guy said, well, we got her dead. And I just had to laugh because, you know, every part of the country has different things that we say. Like around here, we don't always pronounce the T in certain words, like mountain, fountain, things like that. So it's just kind of fun to laugh at each other. All right, I'm going to put this in the freezer. I can show you here. Right up there. Close that. All right, now I'm going to take this other one to my other freezer where there's more space and freeze that one also. Now, when they're all finished being frozen, then I will get them out and show you how I put them in the bag. It's time to take the green beans out of the freezer and put them in this bag. So first of all, we're going to label the bag. So put the date, which is 8/29/21, and green beans. Sometimes I don't label certain things that I store because I figure if I can't identify it by looking at it, then it needs to be thrown away. So anyway, I wrote the ingredients and the date on this bag. Okay, now I'm going to go get the tray out of the freezer. It's a good idea to use a pot holder because you can freeze your hands sometimes if you don't. So I loosen them with a spatula. And then put them in the bag. Okay, I'm just going to grab the rest of them. Okay. Squish as much of the air out as you can. I can still feel a little bit of air in there. Of course, there's a lot of air in there because it's not vacuum packed, but some of it I can get out. Okay. And then I will put that in the freezer. And I will go ahead and get the other cookie sheet full that I put in the other freezer. I'll get that out and I'll do the same thing with that one. Okay, there's actually my second one. Got those all done. So there you have it. I showed you the way that I prepare the beans, cut off the ends and the tips, and cut them up into 1-inch slices, blanch them for 4.5 minutes, cool them off, drain them, and freeze them on a cookie sheet, and then package them in the packages for the freezer. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something new, or just maybe was reminded of something that you already knew. But hopefully you'll be inspired to do the same thing, and also with other vegetables that you will want to grow a garden, harvest a garden, and preserve your garden. Remember also that even when you take it slow, like me, you can accomplish a lot. Thanks for watching.